And I want to welcome you to the Application Architecture Summit Expert Breakout Sessions. This is a session for Appian, and let me welcome back Malcolm Ross, Vice President of Product.
Thanks, Vance. Always great to join you and talk about low-code software development today.
Fantastic. We're really glad to have Malcolm with us this morning. He drives the Appian platform features, making sure that they meet the growing need for low code and at the same time application integrity. He is 19 years in the enterprise application software sector with a focus on low code as well as process integration and other elements that are part of software architecture. In his session this morning, Modern Application Development for the Digital Business, we're going to learn how digital transformation is simply putting a lot of pressure on companies for a faster and more responsive agile app platform and enter low code as one of the more popular solutions these days. And we'll learn that Appian's platform approach delivers low code to non-technical users to deliver impactful apps, but also helps companies focus more on innovation and less on app maintenance. So a great flip on that 80-20 that we've heard about for so many years. And I understand we're going to see a cool demo. And so we'll get a chance to see the Appian platform in action. And just a quick reminder, you can download Malcolm's slides and get a copy of several white papers and other downloadable material right here in the breakout room under the viewing screen. Click on any of those. You'll get that material right away, no extra registration. And we know you'll have questions or comments for Malcolm, so to reach out to him, just type in that submit a question box. So now, Malcolm, let's hand it back to you and tell us about modern application development for the digital business.
Yeah, thanks, Vance. It's obviously an exciting topic to talk about the evolution of digital technologies in enterprise. I thought it was exciting, 20 plus years ago when I started my career in the .com era. And it's just gotten more and more interesting, with today applications of artificial intelligence, robotics inside enterprises now. But when we think about this, we need to think about what exactly is digital business and how are we satisfying that? There's a lot of words out there in the marketplace around DevOps, application development, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cognitive services, cloud-based solutions, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service. It gets quite confusing. And it's created a lot of complexity as far as the skills required for developers to actually deliver those solutions. Not only do you have to be a pretty skilled engineer, like myself, I got my degree in computer science over 20 years ago. It requires a lot of focus to be a good developer and to deliver these solutions quickly. So when I think what is digital business, well, let's just look about how people need to consume this technology. And I always like to refer to this slide, and what is digital business? It's really about the way that people just live today. I know I have 3 kids myself, and right away, I think at 18 months, 2 years old, my children knew how to navigate these iPhone, iPad, Android devices. It's about creating digital experiences for not only all ages, but all aspects of our life. And that's what the enterprise challenge is today, that your brand, your organization, the way that you deliver whatever product it is that you have for market must be delivered in digital experience. Even if you're selling things to toddlers, it's all delivered through a digital medium now. I often talk with my wife, when we're feeling old, we tell our children, we remember the days when there were channels on television and you didn't just have your Roku device and stream whatever you wanted on whatever device it was at the time. The technology is evolving so quickly that the demand for developers is just huge to create these new digital experiences. And this gets to the crux of what's going on with us as far as the demand for mobile applications, demand for general applications is at an all-time high. Gartner says in this quote from a few years ago that demand for enterprise mobile apps will outstrip available app development capacity by 5 to 1. What does that mean? That means that for every, say, application we need to deliver to market as an enterprise, as a new experience, there's only about 1 developer for every 5 apps we need to build. So there's a huge skills gap inside of this marketplace that the computer scientists available, the people who know to build really great digital experiences are pretty rare people. And if you don't have these people, you're not going to have that competitive product brand. Again, like if you're an automotive manufacturer, you have really specialized people about how I build that car and the design of that car and that automobile. In the same sense of if more of my product offering is a digital offering, even if it is a physical thing, you need to have those top tier people that know how to deliver those digital experiences, both for your external brand as well as your internal operations. So the problem is this: you have a supply-demand issue. What happens when there's a really low supply of skilled developers? There's a really high demand for applications, and you end up paying a lot of money for these. It can be a very expensive endeavor in multiple fronts. There's a research document I pulled a few years ago from RA Motion when it broke down mobile application development. This is kind of a detailed breakdown of building out a medium to low complexity application to a high complexity to a very high complexity. When I say a low complexity application, maybe I just want to display information in a mobile application or a web application that's inside my organization. So I need to build maybe some web APIs to deliver that data. I need to build a user experience in the data. I need to have maybe some security around it to make sure people are properly authorized to see that data. There's no actual interaction to it. But if I need to upskill that a little bit more to say like a medium high application, I need to maybe have some interaction, some simple forms, API integrations, backend systems, some more data encryption security. It's going to uplift the price. And then maybe I need to have a highly interactive experience with business rules, maybe going through like an insurance policies configuration where there's lots of rules. I need to dynamically change the screen based on the information we're receiving. It gets more and more complex. To look at this at the high end, and again, a simple application, you're looking at like 252 man hours, $25,000 to $37,000 to get that to market for that secure read-only web app. Medium complexity, maybe some integrations, up to just under $200,000. In a high complexity application, you're pushing almost $750,000 now, almost 4,850 man hours. And this is why the problem is not scalable, or delivering solutions this way is not scalable. That it's a very costly endeavor to build these applications. And of course, that's even if you can find the resources to deliver these effectively as well. And the hidden cost behind this as well is the maintenance cost of your application. So some organizations can expect a year 20% yearly of the original cost of development. So if you spent, say, $500,000 to build that application, expect to spend an additional $100,000 every single year for bug fixes, operating system patches, security updates, new device capabilities. You know, the iPhone X just came out, so I need to adapt that application to the latest mobile applications as well. So you're constantly reinvesting in these digital technologies as well. Overall, this means that, again, it's costly, and that's even if you do it right with the right developers. So going on, you think about how we're solving this. You might have heard the word citizen development out there. And there is a new design paradigms out there called low-code application development, which is focused on empowering a broader set of users to build digital solutions. And it seems like, especially to a traditional developer like myself, citizen development seems like a disaster waiting to happen. In the ideal world of citizen development, and again, to take this analogy back to my kids as well, I might have a variety of paint sets, and I think that, hey, if I go out, I can buy some nice kid-friendly paint sets. They don't need to have the master artists type tool sets, but some basic paint sets, and I just give them the ability to build some artwork for themselves. Certainly that's going to have a fantastic result. So this is kind of the analogy of enabling your citizen developers. You're giving your citizenries and your business users the ability to self-service and build applications themselves. So the idea is, of course, these business users, given the right tool sets, are going to build these beautiful works of art that are going to enhance your digital experience for all of your customers. As we said, there's a little bit of skepticism here. So, and oftentimes when I give my kids paint and I go about my way and say, have at it, kids, I expect in a few hours you're going to have some masterful work, I come back and this is what I find: a kid covered in paint. And this is the importance where IT discipline comes into play, of DevOps and integrating kind of software development into your overall application. What is that paint digitally all over themselves when the citizen developers ignore things like technical debt? They ignore things like proper design practices, architecture, scalability, and how to properly bring solutions to market. But this problem's been solved in the art world. So there is some things that we can teach our children, and they can generate something relatively simple that is effective. So let's take a look at this. You might be familiar with the concept of paint by numbers. So this is the Mona Lisa. Certainly, if I give my child a blank canvas and some art, and I say, I expect you to deliver something equivalent to the Mona Lisa, it's not going to be anything close. But what if I did do this, where I gave them a template and I said, well, I want you to paint a picture of a woman. And this woman happens to be, looks like the Mona Lisa. And I tell my children, in the number 1, you should paint black. Number 2, you should paint like a flesh color. Number 4, blue. Number 5, green. Number 3, dark green. Give them a simple template. They could mix it up. They could change the art a little bit, maybe come up with something, a different color scheme per se that matches their specific taste. But no matter what, I'll typically have something for 9 or 10-year-old, something that closely resembles the Mona Lisa, we'll say. I can see the impression of it as far as what the original intent was. So this is the idea of empowering less skilled people by giving them templates and structures that they can work together. They can customize it to meet their own needs, deliver their own solution, but still be in the realms of an effective environment. And by the way, this is a well-designed practice because this is actually what Leonardo da Vinci did when he actually did the Mona Lisa. He didn't just start slapping paint on canvas. He wrote a template for himself. This is actually the undersketch of the Mona Lisa. It shows the intent of what he wanted to do, or the template for what he wanted to fill in. And then from there, he filled in, and we got the work of art that we see today at the Louvre in Paris. So this practice does work, and it can work with multiple skill levels as well. So this is an approach, I would say, towards software development that is effective when we think about low code. So what is low code exactly? So when we think about application development, we can kind of divide this in 2 main categories, where I have high control or code-centric environments. This is your traditional computer scientists who's building software using things like Java, .NET, traditional IDEs like Eclipse, who are building software applications in the traditional sense. There's always a space for this because while you can solve a lot of solutions through a template approach, you still often need a high control environment as well. So the best of low-code platforms marry these, offering extensibility through high control as well as high productivity. On the right side, we see here high productivity or low code. So you can see it's very graphical. Like that template approach, I'm giving them a canvas that has some starter material. They're not just given a blank screen to just write code. And inside of the starter material, I have a lot of pre-built actions. So on the left-hand side there, you see what we call smart services in Appian. But pre-built template solutions or pre-built, say, colors, they can quickly just drag and drop and enhance their specific solution. They don't need to actually know how to code it all, but they can see the flow of information or the flow of a process here and visually understand that while orchestrating back-end services. Now, low code is not just also about the visual composition of these environments or the enablement system development. The biggest part about low code solutions is about technical debt and solving the technical debt challenge. When we talk to a lot of CIOs at enterprises, this is one of the biggest problems they have, is that they spend 80% of IT resources sometimes just maintain these existing systems. You know, that previous quote from RE Motion that they expect to spend 20% ongoing on the cost of maintaining environments. Well, yeah, you spend 20% on that one application, but as you build 5, 10, 20, 30, 100, 200 applications, that technical debt, the maintenance cost, becomes overwhelmingly part of your overall spend. So that 20% of one application suddenly becomes 80% of your overall IT investment, and you spend very little time actually building new solutions. So low-code application development platforms, again, are not just about delivering software in a visual design paradigm. It's also about making sure that we can flip this, that low-code is going to protect against technical debt. And you're going to spend 80% of your time on innovation, 20% on maintenance. How is this done? Well, it's done through, obviously, the servicing or delivering of the software in a cloud-based means first. So right away, you don't worry about infrastructure, scalability. It's going to adopt elastically scalable architectures in the cloud. It's going to take care of security updates, patches, all the back-end maintenance that goes into the environment. The non-value add activities that enterprise does for IT is all going to be subsumed by the low-code vendor so that you don't have to worry about this back-end service. The only thing you need to be worried about, that 20% of maintenance that you worry about, is evolving your application. So maybe adopting new features, evolving it to meet your business needs rather than just keeping the lights on. So talking a little bit about Appian now and how we approach the low-code challenge. Appian is the platform, what we call for digital transformation. It's designed specifically as one cohesive and logical solution, all delivered through a web-based design experience that allows you to develop solutions fast in an agile means and also allow your organization to be more innovative. The types of solutions that customers are building on the Appian product are largely enterprise focused. So we're doing things like building brand new enterprise applications along with your existing CRM, ERP, PLM type platforms, but delivering those up to 10 times faster. Another way that low-code application development platforms can be applied is also extending functionality of existing solutions. So maybe you had a legacy system that was built in the 80s or 90s, and you want to create a web end to that. You want to create a new process experience or a new functionality around it. Low-code application platforms can also be used to rapidly extend legacy environments with that new functionality. And then finally, often we use Appian and other low-code solutions to stitch together overall applications. You might have a siloed set of applications that you've built together for specific departments, but want to have a more consistent customer experience, say, as we flow across these apps. So you can stitch these together again with a low-code application, wrapping these back-end systems with one cohesive app as well. And the types of solutions that we see most effectively delivered is things like customer journey management, stitching those back-end operations, building new solutions for business operations, as well as GRC solutions, things that need to adapt very quickly to, say, the latest regulations, deliver those solutions out to market using a visual design paradigm. So Appian is a well-regarded leader in low-code application development. Gartner says about Appian that Appian's APaaS, or Application Platform as a Service solution, is easy-to-use offering, is a robust meta model that enables citizen developers to build applications with minimal involvement from professional developers and system administrators. Emphasis on minimal because, again, you always want to make sure that your business users don't have paint all over their hair. You want to have some DevOps approach to low-code development, but you are able to enable less skilled developers to build really effective solutions, scalable cloud solutions that are also secure. So with that, I would say any low-code vendor that you talk to, you should always ask them, well, show me how it's done. So let's take a look at that in the Appian product. And I always say, show me how it's done and build an application in less than 5 minutes, because if it's that easy, it should be that easy. So let's jump into it and take a little tour of the Appian application and start off with just building an app. Now, Appian does have a design experience that is exclusively a citizen development experience, meaning that it's designed to be a zero-code experience, allowing you to, say, fill in the blanks for a template to build a most common solution need for enterprise, which is a case management solution. For example, I need to build a solution for tracking something. So let's say in this example, I'm going to build a solution in the recommendation here around support tickets. I'm going to call it support ticket management. And it's going to basically help me along filling this out. You can see to the degree where it even auto-completed the plural name for that. It's really going to help that business user to just have simple configuration screens to start building the application. So as I go through here, let's say define that support ticket inside of here. I'm going to create now that support ticket through my Quick App Designer. And it's just asking me the basic meta model of a support ticket. So, okay, well, maybe I need to have a title of a support ticket. I need to have maybe the status of it, whether it's requested, planned, in progress, and review. It makes sense, complete. Let's maybe change this to, I don't need under review, so I can quickly change the status of each one of these, as well as a priority, high, medium, low, critical. Okay, that works for me. Let's go ahead and add some additional fields here. So I need to say, I need a description, paragraph. I need to also maybe capture who the owner is, and that's going to be, say, a user inside my system. And say make these required objects. Now, as I receive support tickets, they also could be related to other enterprise systems. So Appian has a robust integration model that can discover data architectures from third-party systems and make them available as what we call Appian records inside our environment. So let's say I have a related customer inside of here, and that's going to be what we call a record. So that record is going to understand a previously set up integration to maybe like a Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics. I simply search for the record association, and now I have an association. So now my support tickets are integrated to my records of my customer record, which might be coming again from Salesforce or some third-party system. So just like that, though, I can leverage these integrations. Maybe it's also related to a product. So again, I might have an ERP system with a listing of all my products. So I'm going to say that's going to be a record as well. Then go ahead and type in the word product just like this. And there's my products listing. And let's say I need to have target delivery date. And let's make that, say, a date, just like this. So it looks like that's going to work. I have a basic support ticket inside of here. I'm going to capture name, description, who owns the support ticket, when I want to complete it, and who is it related to, what customer and product. Seems to work for me. Let's go ahead and preview the form. So instead of a drag and drop interface, it's going to auto build the form for me. So it's going to recommend this form layout. I have a title, status. Okay, that kind of works. I have a 2-column layout here. Appian does ship with also a native document management system. So oftentimes when I want to capture information like this, I need to have maybe a way to capture unstructured data or attachments inside of here. And as well, there could be also a dashboard view or the read-only view inside of here. So what's going on for this specific case inside the environment. If this looks good, I can just go ahead and close. Scroll on down and hit continue. And now final item here, I just need to select who's actually going to do this. So I'm going to say, well, these are the people who can modify this app. I'm going to share this with maybe a few people in my organization. I need James Baker and say Joseph Clark and Karen. They're all going to participate in building support tickets with me in my organization. As you can see, it's natively integrating to my directory server. So I have all that awareness of maybe who's in Active Directory. I have that listing right here as well. So let's go ahead and say, well, I need to have a nice simple icon represent this. And since it's support tickets, I'm just going to go ahead and select this pre-built support ticket icon from this large icon library. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and create that quick app. So I've built now a case management solution that's going to take inbound support ticket requests and basically log those, store those. I can store ad hoc documents with it. I can also do ad hoc tasking and collaboration, and also high-level tracking of what's going on, the status of all my support tickets based on different attributes. So as you can see, this top-hand bar is progressing through. It's going to take about 2 minutes. And what that's building is all the back-end artifacts around this. So there's going to be what we call CRUD, create, read, update, delete. There's processes for updating that database schema. It's going to publish, of course, a relational database schema to a cloud-based database. It's also going to build all those user interface forms, business rules, all the things needed to actually support that application in this quick little template. Actually, this is very much like that paint by numbers example where I go back to that Mona Lisa example. I just filled in some of the blank spaces, and now I have, as you see here, finished applications. Let's go ahead and check out the application we just built. So here I have now my app. I have a dedicated navigation page for this. I have my support tickets. I can create a new one. I can see what's going on with support tickets, and I can also have ad hoc tasking here. So I'm going to say I'm going to have a new ticket. I'm going to start logging this. Go ahead and say it's planned. The priority is high. Description, this is a new test ticket. The owner is going to be, I'm going to make it myself, related to a customer. So I have, again, some associations with my existing customer database. It knows how to integrate and look up that information, as well as say, it's going to see all my database of products as well. It's again coming from that third-party system as well. Since Clarity Phone, target delivery date, let's say it's going to be March 23rd. And go ahead and add some attachments as well. So I can go ahead and say upload that document just like this, my AI brain logo. Submit that support ticket. And there we go. So now I can go in and start tracking all my support tickets. So I can see Malcolm submitted one. If you need to filter, I can see exactly how many are in each stage. I see there's one in planned, one in high priority, one created by Malcolm Ross. Drill into the details of this as well. And now I have the ability to update the record, of course. So if I can come in and say, well, something else is going on. I need to change this to in progress. It's now medium level as well. Go ahead and hit update. And as I'm making all these updates, it's going to record a detailed audit log of exactly when was the ticket created, who created it, what did they update. There's a very detailed audit trail of exactly who's touching this data and how's it being modified inside the environment. As I go back to my summary, I can see also my attachments right here, but I can also say I need to send a task to someone. I'm going to remind someone inside of here, say, send a task to Malcolm, say, please follow up on this next week. We need this done by the 23rd. And again, I'll make this say, please follow up by, say, the 16th at, say, 7:30 a.m. Go ahead and send that task off. And now I have that ad hoc tasking capability integrated into the system. If I go ahead and refresh, I can now track all those ad hoc tasks, exactly who's doing what in the context of this specific support ticket. Now, finally, you also saw those relationship to here are the Maliki, the animal care, as well as the related product clarity cordless phone. As I need to drill into this other information, Appian is this very cohesive solution. So as I build applications, they're natively aware and connected to other solutions. So if I come and say, click on that Maliki, the animal care, I can see the other dashboard about that specific customer. So here's the customer that submitted that order I have the support ticket for. So seeing more information is always just a touch away. I can just go ahead and drill. I can see that they had an order recently for $3,845. Go ahead and click on that. Here I can see now all the order detail. Now I can see that they bought this HP Office Jet. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the product information, drill into the product detail as well, and see more information. Again, these might have been different applications, but since Appian is a cohesive solution, I can add to the overall portfolio of apps very easily, like what I just did in support ticket management. And then finally, around quick apps, of course, I have trend tracking. So far, this is a live application I just built, so there's only that one instance, but I have some high-level reports of how many support tickets are in progress, what are by medium, what's my influx by day, and what are all the support tickets. I can very quickly search them and filter them right down below as well. So that's all great. Well, it makes sense if it's all my business cases fit into this common case management scenario, but let's go ahead and extend this a lot more to handle more complex scenarios. So if I go back into my quick apps, and let's go instead to my full application design experience. So you can see in the full application designer experience, I have this support ticket management app that I just created. Go ahead and click on that. And now as I drill into the details, here's all the low-level design objects that were built in support of this. So for example, I have a data model that was created inside of here, and I have a record type inside of here that are all defined through the simple configurations. If I filter by, say, data type, I can go ahead and see my support ticket data structure. Here's all the fields I captured. It's a very nice, intuitive environment. This is going to be mapped to a relational database. I can see all of its primary key, foreign key relationships to other elements as well. As I go inside of here as well, I can see also maybe my process models. So here I have a process flow for creating, reading, updating, deleting the support tickets. If I go ahead and click on it, I can get into the full application designer, the process model designer here. And as I go into my left-hand side, again, you see all those pre-built activities I can go enhance with. So right now, when I start this form, it's going to go ahead and create a folder, modify some information, upload the documents, and you can see kind of a straight-through process here. If I want to add an approval step, I can just go ahead and say drag and drop and inject these steps inside the flow. So say approve ticket before saving. And as I then route this, I can have, say, decision logic just like this. I can start modeling exactly the flow of this information. Now, Appian also has this library of what we call extended smart services. These smart services provide prepackaged routines for a low-code developer to very quickly add more complex aspects to it, such as maybe they need to send an email to someone. So I can say, send an email to someone when this is updated. As I click on that send email, it's all point-and-click configuration. So who's the email from, maybe whoever initiated the process, who's it going to go to, the subject, and do I need to use maybe an HTML template instead to route that email with the content inside. So very intuitive. As I come in and design this, I can visually understand the process. I can go ahead and say annotate and add comments. This email is sent back to customer after support ticket is saved. I can add those comments just like normal and then make associations. So I have multiple developers working on the solution. I can document exactly what's going on inside every single process interaction. A big part of this is also creating new interfaces and user experiences. So inside of here, I can also say build a UI, say new form. I'm going to save it inside my support ticket management folder. And as I go ahead and say launch this application, I'm going to have a nice low-code design experience for building an application form. So let's go ahead and say I need to load up an example form here. And now we have this example form to show me exactly what kind of my experience is going to look like. So I can see I have a new purchase request form. If I need to modify something, simply select in a low-code sense exactly what I need to modify or move things around very easily as well. So they have a visual design paradigm for building these form experiences very easily. And of course, all the applications inside the Appian platform are going to be mobile enabled. So if I want to see exactly what this form is going to look like on a tablet, I can see that native mobile experience now in a tablet view, or maybe also on an iPhone instead, give me that preview of what's going to look like on a phone device. And if I need to modify something just like before, I can go ahead and select the item, modify the department or customer, and you see those changes in real time. Now, the live preview inside of here is also interactive preview, so I can actually go inside of here and play with the form while I'm in development to, again, accelerate the development cycle. Then finally, you can also do more advanced things like, of course, building decision logic, business rules, expression algorithmic rules, or even web APIs. You can use Appian as a web API gateway into your applications. So I'm going to say, create an API here, say get tickets. And I'm going to say, I'm going to get all the information. Tickets is going to be my endpoint. So I need to create a RESTful web API into my application I just created that's going to allow it to retrieve all support tickets inside my environment. So again, it's going to be a template-based design, even for building a web API. I have some base templates here, like a hello world example, parsing JSON, delivering documents. But here I want to query a data store. That data store, of course, is going to be my support tickets. So let's go ahead to, say, my support tickets data store entity, DSE, hit generate. And now it's just like that, generated a web API for me. If I go ahead and save it, click on my URL stub for this web API, I can see the JSON string. So I can actually see that the customer it's related to, customer 45, the owner Malcolm Ross. The description is, this is a new test ticket. So now I have a web API to actually get all the information out of my system, deliver that as an API gateway into my applications. And of course, for a developer who needs to modify the API to more granular level, you have this simple syntax language to modify the exact behavior of this. If I need to maybe, instead deliver this via JSON, I want to apply maybe a 2XML conversion instead. Go ahead and call my 2XML function. Just like that, I'll hit save, go back to my web API, and now you see the result is an XML instead. So with that, I'm going to pop back to my PowerPoint. There's obviously a lot more to explore in the Appian product. I encourage you, if you'd like to check it out, simply go to appian.com. You can register for your own free trial experience. The experience I just walked through today is the Appian free trial, so you can go through that same routine I just did as well. But in summary, Appian projects, it's designed to be an agile solution with a fast time to solution. It's going to allow, again, developers to deliver solutions more quickly, as well as more people to contribute to application development, all based on a cloud-based, scalable, secure architecture, also with a high availability offering. If you'd like to learn more, of course, again, visit appian.com. As Vance mentioned, we have lots of great assets to learn more about software development, low-code application development. Or you can reach out to me, of course, at malcolm.ross@appian.com. Thank you for the time.
Malcolm, what a great session. And we've got, as you might expect, several comments and provocative questions, I think, that reflect the different types of job titles or personas we've got here. As you might expect, we've got the developer, we've got IT, we've also got some of these citizen developers or citizen integrators in waiting, looking to see how your platform works. So with your permission, let's get to some questions.
Absolutely.
Malcolm, one of the things that you mentioned that got a lot of reaction was your comparison to programming or developing apps to the Mona Lisa. It was a great comparison, and it suggested a question, and it says this: we'd love to empower our business users, and the paint by number example the speaker mentioned seemed to be a great way to think about it. Can Appian tell us about the paint by number low-code templates or recipes that are included in the platform?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's also derives or asks the larger question is, what types of applications are you going to build on a low-code platform? As I mentioned before as well, there's absolutely space in any enterprise for high-control code environments as well as low-code. So the Appian platform is specifically designed to rapidly deliver enterprise case management, process management, and operations management type solutions. So I use this analogy a lot. Are you going to build Pokemon Go on Appian? No, you're not. But you are going to be able to deliver a number of solutions that meet that case management requirement, where you need to capture log information, schedule follow-up actions, integrate to backend systems, bring that forward into a consolidated dashboard experience as well. That's the typical solution, again, that's going to be enterprise operations focused. With that, of course, Appian has those template builders. Templates are manifested in Appian in a variety of ways. One of them we saw through the Quick Apps Designer, which is really a template designer for building a case management style solution. Another way is individual templates for the overall design elements themselves. So we saw a few examples of that as well, such as the Web API Designer, where we had a template for common Web API actions. In just a few clicks, I was able to deliver a Web API that queried a data store. As well, we have templates, of course, for interfaces, for processes, all sorts of templates to accelerate individual development on individual designers. And then finally, Appian also has the application marketplace. So if you go to our Appian App Market, you'll notice that there's hundreds of template solutions, which are kind of fully built out solutions or partially built out solutions that give you a jump start towards a specific application. These often are for specific industries. So you might have something for like a project management inside certain areas, insurance claims management, anti-money laundering solutions for financial services, typical solutions that have pre-built data structures, process patterns, and business rules for common needs across individual industries.
Wow, fantastic. In fact, there's another question that kind of follows up on that theme, Malcolm, and it reads, how do companies marry a low-code platform approach with their traditional waterfall approach to app development or even DevOps?
Yeah, it's, as I said, a big part of the solutions that we deliver often are extending capabilities or accelerating traditional development. So if you are doing waterfall, I encourage you to start to think about agile development cycles. One of the problems a lot of people have in adapting agile technology or agile methodologies to traditional 3GL development is that it takes so long to develop maybe individual components in 3GL that the business doesn't see the value. So a big part of agile is that business collaboration, communication with the business, validating and sprint reviews every week or two exactly what was delivered. And if it's taking you, say, a week or two to just deliver, say, a service layer component, business just doesn't see it. They think the IT organization is too slow and not adaptive enough to their business needs. So again, low code is there to really allow the developers to show value to the business more quickly, both visually through interfaces as well as through logic and decisions and process flows. It allows you to deliver and meet those agile sprint cycles and make sure your burn down chart is meeting all its use case stories.
You know, this is such a rich theme as I'm looking through the list of questions here. There's one more that kind of tackles the same area, and it reads, the speaker said I can use Appian low-code to update our legacy applications. That's very attractive to us. Can we get some examples?
There's a multi-headed approach there. So many times you have a legacy application. Again, it could be very old. You need to tap into it from an integration perspective. So what Appian brings to front on integration first is we rely on a modern SOA-based architecture for integrating to backend systems. So that means if your legacy system does have RESTful web APIs or endpoints to be able to query, we can very easily consume those. But understand the nature of the word legacy, sometimes that doesn't apply. I don't have a nice RESTful API to tap into. So Appian allows two other mechanisms to easily tap into legacies. First, extensibility through 3GL coding, custom extensions of the application or custom integrations, and apply those in the Appian product as a low-code design object. So it allows you to maybe bypass a lack of a RESTful web API and maybe do direct API calls in the system's native language. Another alternative to that is we bundle Appian RPA with Blue Prism with the overall Appian platform as well. Robotic process automation, or RPA, is a great enhancement to the overall integration strategy because it allows you to emulate a robotic action across those backend systems and use the direct user interface to perform an integration. Many times you might have a legacy system where business logic is stored inside of the end user experience and not inside the service layer, or the only way to get at it is through navigating a green screen. So through bundling the Appian RPA tool with Blue Prism with Appian, this allows you to perform those integrations, get that information from legacy systems, and then have a nice RESTful API, nice API to expose those RPA actions and perform those integrations.
Fantastic, fantastic. Malcolm, you know, before we let you go, we do have to get a sense of how folks can go hands-on. You mentioned that there was a trial of the Appian platform. We've gotten several requests for that. Tell us how folks can get more hands-on with Appian.
You'll see right there at appian.com a free trial opportunity. So that's simply express your interest in a free trial. A number of our enterprise customers will get instant access to those free trials, or we'll follow up with you shortly to make sure you get access to create a solution that meets your business needs.
And to the questioners that have that question, I actually see that we have gotten that link directly out of the viewing screen, so that's going to be available right here on the webpage as well. Malcolm Ross, Vice President of Products at Appian, a really great session and a really insightful look at how powerful low-code is becoming for both the citizen developer as well as the traditional IT and kind of hard-coded developer. Really great session.
Yeah, thanks, Vance. Always great to be here.
And as we love to do here at the Application Architecture Summit, many resources here in the breakout room. Again, they're all available without any extra registration. Click them and they're yours. But we couldn't fit them all. So here's a slide that will take you through to some other terrific assets directly from the Appian website. Thanks again, everyone.